Now, our senior reporter, Siphamandla Goge, has been keeping a close watch on the conference. He joins us now. Sipa, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, the leadership has been chosen in the Free State, and Mxolisi Dukwana is now the chairperson there. A lot of hard work lying ahead for the leadership there, and of course, I think top of the agenda should be to unify the heavily divided ANC in that province. But what else can you tell us?
Well, indeed, this conference has somehow settled the issue of leadership dispute in this province, but in a way, it has opened a new chapter because it's common with ANC conferences that any side that loses the conference, they will feel aggrieved and they will threaten legal action. It's not different here in the Free State. You get a sense that those who are aggrieved, they are saying processes were not followed. At the center of their unhappiness is the issue of the credentials. They are saying things did not go right in terms of adopting those credentials. The numbers somehow do not match what was adopted, rather. So they are saying, well, they will be weighing their options, even threatening legal action. But remember, emotions are too high. It's been about, 4 or 5 times that this provincial conference had been postponed. People were so looking forward to it. Those who emerged victorious are happy. Those who lost are aggrieved and unhappy. So with time, things will settle down. But remember, the ANC in the Free State has got a very long history of having its conferences taken to court, at some point having the provincial executive committees disbanded. So it's not surprising that there are those who are unhappy, who are threatening legal action. But Mxolisi Dukwana emerging as the new provincial chairperson of the ANC in the Free State is important for his faction and for President Ramaphosa's faction. Remember, he's regarded as the president's man. There are those who are saying even the fact that he was made the convener of the interim provincial committee, that was to prepare him to gradually take over and become the provincial chairperson of the ANC in the Free State. There are those who see him as someone who has been at all cost having his way paved for him to take over the reins in terms of ANC leadership in this province. But the real work begins now. Remember, all those who contested each other, they are comrades. They have worked well together. Even those who are on the other side or the other faction, the so-called RET forces and the Ace Mahashule's faction, including Paseka Nompondo, who is the former provincial secretary who was vying for the same position. He has worked well with Mr. Mxolisi Dukwana. So at some point and at the end of the day, these are ANC comrades who were exercising their constitutional right and democratic right to elect leadership preferences that they may have had before this conference. But the real work begins now. What happens moving forward? Will the newly elected collective leadership be able to unite a deeply divided ANC in the Free State, an ANC that does not have properly functioning structures? I'm talking about branches and regions in this case, but most importantly, it's a governing party in this province of the Free State. The people of the Free State would want to know what will happen in terms of the provision of basic services. Yesterday, the national chairperson of the ANC, Mr. Mantashe, opening this 9th provincial conference of the ANC in the province, saying there is no provincial government or no local government in the Free State. That was a very serious statement if you take into account that it's the ANC that is governing here. For their national chairperson to concede that basically there is no provincial government and local government, it's a serious shame, because the ANC has been governing this province since 1994 with an uninterrupted mandate. They have not had tough competition and opposition here, but they've dismally failed to provide basic services to the people of the Free State. They have been misgoverning this province of the Free State. So this newly elected leadership has got 2 main tasks. One is to ensure that those who are deployed to government, they work with speed in providing the people of the Free State with basic services. But 2, organizationally, they need to pursue the elusive renewal and unity project of the ANC.
Very, very important, those two tasks at hand there for the newly elected leadership. Thank you so much, Senior Reporter Siphamandla Goge, just saying that, you know, the new leadership has those two main tasks, basically. We know the Free State service delivery there has been miserable, and people have been angry at the government, local government there. So hopefully the new ANC leadership can focus on those two tasks at hand, what Sipa just said. Now, eNCA reporter Moloto is also following the conference and joins us with the latest. Moloko, you mentioned earlier that President Cyril Ramaphosa will be doing the closing speech there at the conference. Any sign of him there yet or not?
Well, I have not seen the president arriving here, but of course, he can rock up at any time. Because the business of the conference is still ongoing. The announcement of the top 5 was just one part of the election process. They still have to nominate the additional 30 members who are going to form part of the provincial executive committee. Of course, we try to seek reaction to the announcement that Mxolisi Dukwana is now the chairperson of the ANC in the Free State. Of course, he had been at the helm as convener. The position of convener is equivalent to that of a chairperson. The deputy convener until today, who happens to be the boss of Mxolisi Dukwana in government as the premier, Siphamandla, contested Dukwana and she lost. Basically, Dukwana lost or won through slender majority. So Siphamandla is saying, look, I congratulate Mxolisi Dukwana. However, when I asked her whether she believes the election was free and fair, she says, look, let's listen to the complaints of all other people who are aggrieved. And I asked whether she supports the possible litigation which some of the people who supported her are mulling over. She's saying, I will first have to listen to them before I determine. I also asked her to react to the statement the remarks by the national chairperson of the ANC, Mr. Goge, yesterday, who said there's no government in the Free State, both at the provincial and the local government level. He went on to say that there are no roads here in the province, and when he travels here, he does not see that there's any work that's been done to build the roads. Some are saying that was actually a vote of no confidence in the government of Siphamandla, and I asked what her response was. She said, look, the evidence is out there to show that when I became premier, I have done or made headway and progress, saying that she has stabilized this particular province. And I did ask what she thought her future is, or is where it's lying. Does she believe that she will continue as premier? She says, I've been deployed by the African National Congress. But if you also listen to Mxolisi Dukwana yesterday when he delivered the political report, he reiterated that remarks by Goge and said that they are going to make an assessment of the provincial government. We know that as much as Siphamandla says she has done her best, this province has returned 800 million rand that was meant for projects, infrastructure projects. Municipalities returned that money to the National Treasury. 800 million rand, nearly 500 million rand of that is from Mangaung. But of course, those, for instance, we know they have taken a decision, this ANC in the province, and considering that Mxolisi Dukwana has won, it's a given that they are going to forge ahead in ensuring that they remove the executive mayor of Mangaung, Mxolisi Dukwana, whom they say has not done much. And those who support Mxolisi Dukwana as the executive mayor are saying it's unfair to blame him because he inherited the mess in Mangaung in November 2021 when he became the mayor. And this municipality was under provincial administration. It is now under national administration. Decisions that he takes at the executive level, they are being challenged by the administrators, they claim. So they are saying to attribute the failures of this municipality to him is unfair. He was told to resign. That was 2 weeks back. He has still not resigned. Speaking to the ANC in the province, they still also don't know when he is going to resign. But of course, when you speak to other people, for instance, the person, the lady who was contesting for the position of deputy secretary who lost, she's saying, look, we are rallying behind these new leaders. We believe that as much as we did not prevail, we still have a contribution to make in the African National Congress. And I was among those ANC comrades who had gathered outside, and when they were addressed by Paseka Nompondo, who was contesting for the position of secretary, and he lost. And he said to them, don't walk away, do not leave the conference venue, go back there and participate actively as members, as delegates of the ANC, and make sure that you participate up to the end. So you get a sense that perhaps from the leaders who lost, there might not be an appetite to take this matter to court, because if he's saying that go and participate, essentially he's saying this is a legitimate conference, I would assume, continue attending. Although there are people who are saying that it is rigged, they are saying that some of the delegates were actually removed. And you would recall that 2 days back, Ace Magashule came out to say that those who think they will defeat Mxolisi Dukwana are wasting their time because the conference is rigged already. Mxolisi Dukwana reacted to that and said that Ace Magashule, having been chairperson of the ANC in this province for so long, maybe he knows how to rig conferences, and dismissing that remark by Ace Magashule. As matters stand, what remains is that the delegates must elect the 30 additional members who will be PEC members. The president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, will have to come and deliver closing remarks. I'm not too sure if they will even have time to discuss policy issues so that they can announce the declaration at the end of this particular conference.
Thank you so much for that detailed update. Moloko Moloto, our reporter there in the Free State, the ANC, of course, the ANC conference in the Free State. Two main tasks at hand for the newly elected leadership in the Free State. Service delivery being one of them, of course. We know the Free State is one of those provinces where service delivery is dismal. And one of the places that really needs some scratching up there is also a place where Fikile Mbalula, Secretary General of the ANC, is from, Botshabelo. Of course, we know that the bucket system there, for example, is still something that's a huge issue in that part of the Free State.